Attention gamers, there is a popular theory in modern science known as evolutionary theory which states that human beings in our current form today have evolved and adapted from less sophisticated, less intelligent creatures, and while a common curiosity forms around what the next chain in this evolution will look like, I have been investigating its past, namely the first, dumbest form that we have evolved from. And a few weeks ago I thought I solved that issue by talking about a very serious condition that plagues the rift, Yasuo syndrome. I diagnosed the symptoms, talked about the hopeless displays of greed endlessly dashing into danger, a champion whose ban rate is so high purely because people don't want their own teammates bringing such a curse to their games. But then August 6, 2020 came, a day that will be remembered in the history books when scientists discovered a new species, potentially more moronic than the previously considered beginning of the chain. They called this species Yone, he whose brain is baloney. And despite there being years of data showing why Yasuo belongs uncontested on the throne of dumbassery, early studies indicate that cases of Yone syndrome are very serious and with time may prove to be the more severe of conditions. So in today's video, for educational purposes I would like to present a rather acute case of Yone syndrome to help you understand the implications of coming in contact with the ones wrapped in the swirls of stupidity, because for those of you who have been stuck in a game with this wind twin, you know they will feed again and again, until they are 0 and 10, and then we all download a VPN? Let's say there is a girl in your class named Sally Simsalot who gives the best, kisses. So you send her a Valentine, but a few things can go wrong, starting with the fact that the envelope is signed with your real name, Lonnie Lil Ween. And so she throws it away without even reading it, #blocked. But there's also a chance of other people seeing it before she does and stealing your dope pickup lines or other information they shouldn't have seen. But not with VPN Valentines, as you can now sign that envelope as Stanley Stud Muffin and not have to worry about her blocking it, but you can also rest assured that no one else will intercept it because you wrote it in a language that only you and Sally can understand. And similar to how the VPN Valentine approach protects your privacy, ExpressVPN protects you from your internet provider seeing every website you have ever visited and then selling your browsing data to other companies. So basically a VPN lets you get content that otherwise would block you based off of where you are requesting it from. All while protecting everything you put online thanks to big words like encryption and IP masking and iridocyclitis. And since 2020 has basically put me on house arrest, I have used it to do things like pretend I am in Japan so that I can watch all the animes and Netflix shows only available in that country, like the dank film, Your Name, and cry my eyes out at its romance. So use my link in the description to get a free 3 months of ExpressVPN. Something that people normally would pay a premium for, and enjoy those beautiful Sally Simsalot kisses on me. So for those of you who stick around for all of my content, you have earned yourself one rab respect, the most valuable of currencies on the web. And for those who didn't, please kindly chortle my ballsack and let's get into this piss pit of a game. Now in this game I was playing this sneaky pink sex ant because there are two sayings I live by: when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and when Riot autofills you while simultaneously matching you with 4 epileptic flamingos that you are supposed to call your teammates, you bend over, spread your cheeks and wait for your LP to be painfully extracted from your asshole. Let's meet our test subject as he wastes no time covering himself in his own bloody discharge just to get cage cucked and blue balled before whiffing his jab stab and returning back to his sad body and what you just know he is classifying in his head as a good trade. And then the very next time he procs his goon gales, it's no surprise he is looking to spend them in a way that accomplishes nothing other than putting him in a position not optimal to handle, say getting ganked by a colorful caribou, which results in him burning his flash and eagerly contributing to the Make a Fed Rise Foundation. Unfortunate gank, but map awareness is the first thing to go when dealing with this condition. As seen by this second clip when he immediately hard pushes with 30% health and less vision than a blind mole rat, and sure enough that blue balled shitter comes UFOing his way in. He seems to be safe, but you just never know when the symptoms of this syndrome will act up as he Dua Lipa 180 surprises the world by dashing straight back into the danger he just escaped to make another sizable donation. At this point I have just unlocked my peekaboo passive as my rooster riding mid laner lets me try cocaine for the first time as we fly into battle, and I send the Ninja Turtle a notification that rough sex is coming, and we get into an awkward game of ring around the rosy until I get impatient and hit my win fight button. Then I reunite with my team to oversee that the murder of Purple Drank Varus goes smoothly. I run straight up river to help this yelping kangaroo jockey in his fight against definitely not about to be a dead bitch Vel'Koz as I rapid fire some pricklies out of my anus for the kill, then fleeing the crime scene before authorities piece it together. Damn near call me Carol Baskins. Big shopping spree completed, and as I am coming back to slaughter some chickens, Project Dead dock worker comes dashing over, and we both know we shouldn't be seeing each other under these circumstances, but the secret rendezvous turns me on, so I stick my erect ass cheek thorns in his mouth to make him nice and sore before sending him home. Back to top, and that twin of wind is picking up right where he left off, casually using all of his abilities to accomplish absolutely nothing, and then he becomes very hesitant as if he's trying to remember what game he is playing again, but in reality what is going on is that he knows that big-headed alien is sitting in the edge of that bush, and the temptation of murdering that red-robed midget is becoming more and more pressing until he gives in and says, so he runs up, misses the minion completely, gets caged and force-fed a few Altoids before dying. Meanwhile, lesson 1 I learned in my class called I Got Autofilled Jungler 101 is to snowball the lanes who actually have brains, so I make my way bot to twist this archer's tits a bit. I swipe right and wait for him to match with me so that I can jump his bones, and then I ask Lux to give me some light so I can see the look on his face when I stick my pinky in his stinky and we take the kill. And while I am out here sweating my ass off to mitigate against the inevitable outcome of what has been going on in the top lane, Yone is busy discovering that pressing the key, which turns him into a blood-boogered version of himself, is actually not an effective means of getting back to lane faster. But last I checked we weren't in Pisa, and so no tilting is going on here, as I am still in good spirits asking the pimp of pouch animals if he could spare some more cookies, and he obliges. I take a strong snort only to see my sneaky soulmate again, so I inform him that I get horned up when I am high and request that he give me a river quickie. Meanwhile, my top laner is in the middle of an intense 1v1 with the only thing on the rift he can successfully beat, but when PETA employee Pike shows up to stop the frog abuse, the swirling slobberer refuses to stop. This results in him getting the camp stolen by a freaking support before getting stunned, cucked and pissed on by a bald, bruised cartographer. His tombstone will read, "Died nobly in service of leashing a jungle camp to enemy support." A minute later he starts heading mid to drop his wallet in that lane, as well as he hypes up the dogs just to have a few more things attacking him when he goes dashing in balls to the wall, inviting all living things with a red health bar in the area to take turns slapping his ass until they have all been given the opportunity to earn their kill participation paychecks. Then he is just casually leading the way mid, doing what all members of that wind shitter family do best, soaking up all the farm for themselves as slouchy dagger boy's cover gets blown in the bushes, and the thought of getting a kill makes the slobber just pour out of this ass hat's mouth as he makes sure his half-health fragile bony butt is the first to initiate the 4v1 just to ensure that it still ends in a 1-for-1 trade. My whole team is holding each other's hands up top like we are a group of insecure mean girls, and it must be Wednesday because we are all wearing pink, but then I run into my stealthy sex pal and you can tell he doesn't know how to act, so he opts to remind Caitlin that she is an ADC before I show him my tits, but he isn't in the mood. To which I say hell no, I ain't letting some hunchback exoskeleton shitbag reject this tight elusive ass, so I command the rooster rider to tie that bitch up so I can have my way with him. Then I tell this octopus that the skin isn't fooling anyone and to just admit that he definitely is a dead bitch. Dragon is up and I am the jungler, which I guess makes my attendance mandatory, so I head over just to see that 5-gum commercial looking champion torpedoing himself at my banging blonde support, so I lube him up and wait to get fully erect only to be told it's not big enough to get the job done. So I flash and over dramatically waste my ult when it would have been useful to deal with the butt-ass naked one-shot levitating octopus taking pictures for his blog over the wall. Then I am mid with this moron, hoping that stupidity isn't contagious when I see Red Jizz Jeremy in a bad position, so I try to explain to Yone what a pick is as I run over, but the freaking cha-cha slide must have come on or something because he pauses and then starts spinning around, taking short steps in random directions as my hole of ass is getting inverted by 3 of them. Let's get a scoreboard check on this moron. 0 and 7 as is tradition on the ones who shit wind, and honestly his build is looking pretty standard. Veilp, never mind, it looks like this case of Yone syndrome is more severe than we thought. Anyways, I resume my duties as the unseen sex ant of the rift, bringing my seductive charm and inflicting my peekaboo harm to my foes as the windshitter actually lands an ult, but thanks to him having 200 AP, 6 AD and 0 defensive items, he does no damage and melts faster than marshmallows on s'mores night as I slaughter the disguised octopus and cast a totally unnecessary but timely ult to put my name at the top of the credits for the second kill. Then not a minute later I come back mid because apparently the crowdie is getting rowdy and now they are trying to knock Ronnie off of his rooster, so I inform the archer that penetration is in his future, which scares the literal flash out of him, so I come back to tail stab blue Baldylocks. But Purple Drank Varus informs us that he doesn't believe in monogamy, so hanging around 3 scantily clad women at the same time doesn't really faze him, so I inform him that such piggish antics won't be tolerated by rapid firing a large amount of horny thornies up his dark star asshole. Turns out this case of Yone syndrome may be stage 4 as he ults over the wall to seemingly flank a healing honey plant, and according to my map this places him right around I'm a total dumbassville as 3 of them collapse and send him home yet again. Then typically games that are 4v6 in league result in one team's territory getting trespassed, so I am out here trying to enforce the law against such acts in the form of violent seduction, but the blue man opts to become gold man, so I patiently wait for his wiener to thaw only to get the yank from that floating sperm bank and forced to hit my no thanks to damage button. Someone let the airbender out of fountain again, so the other team is chasing him like he's a dumb dog that needs to be put back in his crate, and since sidestepping isn't an option, he decides to blow a 2-minute cooldown to avoid eating a javelin, and honestly I am thrilled to see this because at least it means he isn't just willingly donating funds to the group of people whose main objective is to stick their hands up our chocolate faucets and play puppets until we give them LP. But then he pauses and I can just tell the symptoms are about to surface as he puts on a performance that appears as if he is training for a skillshot eating contest and gets deaded without doing a single useful thing. But do not fear, revived Yone is here as he runs out to show them how angry he is from being Amazon Prime delivered to Fountain freaking 11 times, but they could give 2 shits and send him back once again, and that, my friends, is what you are potentially dealing with when you have a Yone on your team. Let me know in the comments what other champion syndrome has been plaguing your games and I will look to make a video on it educating the people of its severity. Shout out to my Patreon supporters for being dank, so you deserve this thank, and don't forget to check out the goodies on my second channel for daily uploads. Pet your dog, jerk your ween, buy my merch and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.
Stuck.